Hi, my name is Uni and my brand is Anne Bonny Bags. And today we're only going to chat. I'm not going to show you how to make a bag. This is not a tutorial. We're just going to talk about bag making in general. My purpose here is really to have more people fall in love with bag making. Maybe you're new to bag making, then this video is for you. I'm trying to make it easier for you to start and talk about who bag making really is for. First, I want to clarify. When I say bag making, I'm not meaning only bags like tote bags and bigger bags. I'm talking about little purses and handbags, whatever comes in under the big umbrella bags. You can specialize in your own field when you find out what you love the most and when you find a market. So we're going to talk a little about this, why you will do it. Maybe you're thinking ahead and then in the future you can live of it, because it's pretty wonderful to be able to be your own boss. But you have to work hard. Bag making is nothing that you get easily rich from. I just want to clarify that. Why would you want to get into bag making? Well, I can only speak from my own experience. If you have some creativity in you and you like to produce and make things, maybe you like to cook and follow recipes, maybe you like to build stuff, maybe you like to build your own furniture or whatnot. If you like to create something, then maybe bag making is something for you. You remember as kids when we were building airplanes, well, mostly guys maybe, model airplanes, you glue little pieces together, you follow a recipe and you start from scratch. And then the same with cooking, you start from scratch with only the ingredients and you put it together and you create a wonderful meal or a nice little airplane or a model car or a beautiful bag. It can be a simple zipper bag or a complicated handbag. But don't think about the complicated handbag yet, because I don't want you to get scared and overwhelmed. Let's think in simple terms first. So why would you want to get into bag making? Because of the gratification. When you start with bag making, when you start from scratch, maybe you have sewn a little bit before, maybe not, but you can start so simple that you don't actually have had to have any experience with making clothes or anything. It helps, but you don't have to, because you can start with 2 little squares of fabric and put a zipper on. Then you're making a little bag. And anyone can do that, even if you have 10 thumbs. So here's the thing. You start off with these little squares and you don't quite know how to do it, or you follow a tutorial on YouTube if you're smart. But anyway, you haven't done it before, so it's new territory, it's a challenge, you have to stretch your abilities a little, you have to do something that you're not normally doing, so it's a challenge, and you do it. Why would you do it? Because it's so fun when you succeed. When you have a little bag there with a zipper or with a little wristlet or something, it's so gratifying because you made it. You made it. You created it. Even if you used a pattern, even if you used a tutorial, you did it. You created something from almost nothing. So here's why you want to do it. It will make you happy. Or maybe you will cry a little and sweat a little and stick yourself with needles on the way. So blood, sweat and tears. But when you're done, it's immensely gratifying. Even if it's your first simple little bag with a little zipper on top. You really should try it. And then you say, well, it's so hard to get into bag making. I need to buy this machine. I need to buy the industrial machine. No, no, no. Anyone can get a hold of a cheap sewing machine, because that's only what you need to start with. It's not going to, if you love bag making, it's not going to last. This cheap little machine is not going to be enough forever. But for your first little zipper bag, it's going to be perfectly enough. And a little machine you can get on sale. You can buy it at Craigslist. You can buy it on eBay. You can buy it used from someone on a flea market, somewhere. Just make sure it works. If you don't have a sewing machine, you need one. Or maybe you have a mother-in-law or a mother you can borrow the machine from, and you can sew a couple of bags or little zipper bags, and you can see if you like it. If you don't like it at all, which I doubt, you just hand back the machine and say, thank you, I'm done with bag making. You can have your machine back. Otherwise, you realize you have to get your own machine. But you don't need much more. You need a pair of scissors, you need pins, and a couple little other things, a couple of rulers. I have another video where we talk about the tools that you need for bag making. So the reason you want to get into bag making, it's because of the tremendous gratification in the success when you finish a bag. That will make you happy and proud of yourself. And sometimes if you walk around with your own little bag that you made, you put a lot of effort into it, it's like a little art project, and people will ask you, wow, did you make this bag? And sometimes it's not really a compliment, but you just have to say, yes, isn't it nice? Yes, I did. This is my second bag I made in my whole life. I'm so happy with it. What I'm trying to say is that you can't expect to be an expert after a couple of hours. It takes time. As with anything else you want to learn, it's a skill. Bag making is a skill. You have to work at it. But of course, you have to have the interest, or it can be awoken in you. Just watch YouTube videos on bag making and you'll easily see that, ooh, your hands are itching. You want to create something too. In a way, bag making is problem solving. You have these pieces of fabric and a zipper, some hardware, and you're going to make it into a bag. How? You have to solve the problem. It doesn't have to be a problem always, but in the beginning it is a problem. So it's about problem solving. That's why it's so gratifying when you have solved the problem and your bag is finished. But in order for you not to feel overwhelmed, you have to think that it's a skill, as I said. Bag making is a skill, just like biking. When you sit on the bike the first time, you don't have the confidence to just drive off, and you wobble a little and maybe you fall off. It's the same as when you try to walk for the first time when you were 11 months too. You wobble and you fall and you stumble and you get up again. So this is the same with the skill of bag making. You make some bags that are really ugly and they're terrible to look at, maybe. But don't get discouraged, because the next one is going to be prettier and the next one is going to be almost perfect, right? So don't give up. You can't be an expert when you start. When you have mastered this fun skill that it is, you will have so much fun making bags, and while you sew, you can listen to hundreds of exciting audiobooks while you sew. So you get entertained while you sew, plus you produce something. It's pretty cool, because it's pretty relaxing. When you know how to make a bag, it's very relaxing. It's just craft. You do it over and over again, and you know how to do it. You just have to go through the motion and go to the steps. That's why you want to make different bags, different shapes and different forms, so you can learn something new, because you have the urge to learn. That's a good thing to have here. So as soon as you master it a little bit, which you do with practice, make 10 zipper bags at a time, then you get the skill in your fingers. As you learn, it's pretty relaxing, and you get into a zone, where maybe we can call it flow. It's funny how you forget about time, you forget where you are, you're just into this production of your 10 little zipper bags, or 3. And it's so much fun, because you forget to make dinner, you forget to clean the house, you forget to pick up the kids from school, you forget everything. Then you're in the zone. And that means you're doing something that's challenging enough for you and rewarding. Who wouldn't want to spend their time on something that is rewarding? So when people like the bags you give to them for free, your family and friends, that's rewarding. When you get a little better at it and people are willing to pay money for your bag, that's rewarding. Because not everyone have learned how to make bags, so it's pretty unique. Here's the thing about unique. You are creating something that's unique. You chose the fabric, you chose the color of the zipper. Every little bag you make is unique. It has your fingerprints all over. It's yours. You have created something that's unique and you should be proud of that. That's joy. In the beginning, it's a little pain and sweat, but after a while, it becomes very joyful and you wouldn't want to do anything else. You almost don't want to do anything else like clean the house or cook or exercise even. Just have to mention that unfortunately bag making cannot replace physical exercise, although it's pretty hard for your fingers. So it's not all joyous, of course, in the beginning, because you will have to use a seam ripper and you have to do things over again, and it will take you hours to correct your mistakes, and you will almost get tears in your eyes because the thing that you just spent 1 hour on is not good enough, and you have to seam rip it open and do it again because something is a little skew. But that's how you learn. So now is the time for me to mention, this is a surprise. Perfection is not your friend. If you are a perfectionist, you'll never get started. You want the nicest, most expensive machine, you want the nicest material, you will never be happy with where you are in your skill set because you want everything to be perfect right away. It's not going to be that. So, surprise, surprise, we will strive to make the bag as pretty as possible, but perfectionism isn't going to help you. Just so I've said that. It's so much better to just start. Start with the ugly little sewing machine that's already 30 years old and take some clothes, take some old jeans that you have, take something that you already have. You don't have to spend a penny to make very nice bags. So just start with that. Things doesn't have to be perfect, but they will be better and better if you strive and keep at it. Don't give up just because you have to do things over again or even have to throw a bag in the garbage and make another. That's how it is. The seam ripper is your friend. It doesn't feel like it, but it is your friend. Everyone makes mistakes, and you too. So my point is, you have to give yourself some slack. Your fourth and fifth bag may not look as beautiful as you would have wanted it, but it's better to get started than not get started at all. You have to expect that your bags are not perfect. There might be a little skew, they might be a little not so pretty to begin with. That's how it is. Here's a tip. When you look at the YouTube channels with the girls that are making bags, don't get discouraged just because they are wonderful at doing what they're doing, because they did not start yesterday. They've probably been doing this for years and they become pretty good at it. And so can you if you practice. If they were to show you the first, third, or fifth bag they made, you probably would giggle. And it probably is just as bad as the ones you made. So everyone has to start from scratch, not only you. No excuse not to get started with bag making. You get a little sewing machine, scissors, ruler, and you buy a lot of cheap fabric, upholstery fabric. You don't want flimsy little bags, so you want upholstery fabric. You buy some interfacing, some zippers, and some D-rings so you can make a wristlet. And then you can watch YouTube videos on starting with the simplest bags. I'm going to have some videos on this channel too, where we start from scratch. So you see, no excuse not to become a bag maker. The reason you don't have to invest all this money up front is you need to see if you like it. If you like sitting by the sewing machine hour after hours, cutting and composing combinations, it's so much fun with ribbons and bindings and things like that. You just start simple and then you get more advanced. And you can buy some fun toys after a while, like Cricut machines and machines with dies that cut fabric in different shapes. Then you can apply them on your bags. It's wonderful gifts for family and friends, and also to sell at farmers market, online, or wherever. I think people like to meet the creator though, so probably you would have a better chance selling at a farmer's market than online, because you need a lot of marketing to get discovered online. That's not what we're discussing now. We'll have another video about producing for sale and selling your bags. If you find someone who's willing to pay for them, they might pay for the material, because you're never going to get paid enough for your time. But that's how it is. Until you've built up this skill, you cannot get paid for your time. But afterwards you will. When you get into a production mindset, you might be able to make money of making bags. If you are a beginning bag maker, then you should subscribe to this channel, and then you will get notified when I make new beginner videos on bag making. We start from scratch and we go through the steps that you have to do in order to master the art and skill of bag making. So, until then, go find a sewing machine, find some fabric, and get started. Have a wonderful day.